What up, y'all? Fight Court back again. I'm your boy, Dean Thomas. Y'all know what it is. We got my man, Ryan Quinn, riding shotgun, but fresh off of victory. I'm talking about, man, you had my man drunk on ice on Saturday night. Joining the show now, Juicy J, Julian Erosa. What's going on, homie?
Just got in town literally like an hour and a half ago. Me and my wife and my son stayed in Miami for an extra couple of days so we could experience the weather, go check out the beaches. My son's like 1 year old, so it's the first time he ever saw a beach and wanted to let him experience that after the fight. So had some fun in Miami, but now we're back in Vegas, ready to get back to work.
Ready to get back to work, man. What'd you think of the fight, man? I mean, in fact, sort of before you tell me what you thought of the fight, man, my son was there. He's 19 and he's up in the little ESPN suite. You know what I'm saying? I got the hookup. So I had him I had him in the little ESPN suite and he's laughing. He's like, yo, was this dude serious? I was like, man, he was drunk from the up kick. So
yeah.
What'd you think of the fight?
For me, like it went according to game plan. With Darren Elkins, like, the guy's willing to fight for 15 minutes, and he's a guy that doesn't really get put out quick and will stay in the fight all the way up to the 15th minute. So if you're not patient and you try to jump on him too early, you might get tired doing that, and then he always likes to make his comeback. So for me, specifically with Darren Elkins, like, my style is always like 100% from the jump to just go. But with him, I wanted to be patient, and there was a few times when he gave me, that front headlock position, and I love the Doris, I love the guillotine from that position specifically, but I thought the TKO would be a better route for me, and sure enough, it was.
Julian, I gotta tell you, man, I fuck with your style, and I'm gonna tell you why. I was actually talking to Mike Ricci about this. I don't know if you know Mike Ricci. Ryan, you might know Mike Ricci.
Yeah.
Old school Canadian.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And we was talking about how the game has changed, and I didn't really have nobody back in the day that vibed with my style, but I fuck with your style. You know what I like about your style? I like the fact that you fight from every position.
Yes.
Yeah, you fight from every, like when you hit your back, it's okay. We still fight. You know what I'm saying? Like most guys they're turning over to give up their back and they're struggling, but you continue to fight offensively from your back. How hard is it for you in practice to get people to buy into that system?
I think honestly, I've stopped a lot of guys in the gym with the up kicks from the bottom, but I go to the gut in the gym because body shots are full game in the gym, but I don't do any up kicks to the face in the gym just because I want to be careful with my training partners. But I've been itching to do that in a fight where I up kick somebody from the bottom. But I'm always doing that. Like, I'm always kicking people off of me. I'm trying to make them, even if they're in an advantageous spot against me, I want them to feel like they're not. I always want them to feel like they're fighting something. Obviously in a fight, you want them fighting for their life the entire time, whether they're in a good position or a bad position. You see it all the time with guys that get stuck in a bad position and they take a few seconds to catch their breath or to do this or do that, and then next thing you know, they get stuck in even a worse position or a submission, or they start getting TKO'd or something like that. And so for me, I want everybody that I fight to feel uncomfortable the entire way through. And so Darren Elkins took me down pretty easily, but it wasn't because necessarily that I'm just like not good at wrestling. I kind of just don't care to go on my back. Like if I go to my back, I'm still going to be fighting hard. I'm going to find my way up. I'm going to find damage from the bottom. Immediately, I was throwing elbows, and then as soon as I got any kind of space, I started doing the up kicks, and I almost finished him that way. And I think if my kick was over about an inch, it might have been the end of the fight there.
So, Julian, the stoppages were a theme of the fight. I had a better view of what social media was saying than you guys. Obviously, you guys were very busy that night. Now, your stoppage was like, first he was coming in, and did you feel that was a late stoppage, or did you feel that it was appropriately timed? They gave him a chance to defend himself. What did you think after? I mean, I know when you're in there, you're just punching, but after, was there any talk about it after in the back or anything like that?
Yeah, Darren Elkins is a tough guy, hard to put away. So I think they gave. I think he gets a little bit more time than most because of that.
Great answer. Yep.
And so, but rewatching it, and I really do. I felt bad for him because I felt like it was a not necessarily that he couldn't handle more damage, or he couldn't handle the damage as a tough fighter, because we all want to be able to persevere and try to get past the other side of a TKO stoppage like that. But man, when you watch it, I just feel like it was one of those fights where you see a guy that should probably retire, just because I think the last time he's only been finished one time with a TKO with Cub Swanson a few years ago, since he got finished by a submission from Charles Oliveira in 2010. So a guy who was not known for getting finished, taking a finish in the first round against a guy like me, who I've never really been like a one punch knockout guy. I'm kind of an Nate Diaz type of dude, where I'm gonna kill you with 1,000 punches versus a one punch hitter quitter. But so for that to happen to Darren, I kind of felt bad, especially because his son was there, and his son gave me a hug.
Don't say that. No, don't tell me that.
I felt so bad because he brought his son to the ceremonial weigh-ins, and he introduced me to his son and said this is the first time his son was able to experience the UFC backstage like that and do the ceremonial weigh-ins. And then the next day, the day of the fight, like a few hours beforehand, I was in the hotel, and his son didn't say a word to me, but just came up to me and gave me a hug before the fight. And I was like, I gave him a hug, and I was like, God damn, like, yeah, I gotta go fight this dude's dad now. And then
maybe it was mind games. Maybe it was mind
games. I mean, what the hell?
I think he just truly was enjoying the experience as a 14-year-old kid, just a fan of the UFC. Even if it's the guy. Yeah, well, I mean, he seemed like he was about 14 years old.
Okay. Right.
I'm not sure exactly how old he was, but that's about how old I thought he was.
If he's 14, if he was 14 and gave you a hug, man, that's so heartwarming.
Yeah. Well, I have a 1-year-old son, and so like after having my own kid, and seeing that, I look at it differently. And so his son came off the elevator, we locked eyes, and he kind of just gave me this arms open, and I was like, all right, I just give him a hug, and I'm like, and I didn't really say anything really. He just said hey, and I gave him a hug, and then he walked off. And I was like, damn, I gotta go fight this dude's dad now. And in my mindset, when I'm in the cage, I'm looking to kill somebody. I mean, that's the mindset I have. I mean, obviously not literally kill them, but I want to, it's me or him, so I got to get in there with that mindset. And I think a lot of fighters like that. So, and then afterwards, it made me feel even worse about the whole situation, because I know his son was probably there, and I don't even know really how to explain that whole situation.
No, I get you. So on the flip side of stoppage, it was funny during your fight. Everyone's, these refs don't know what they're doing. They're letting these fights go too long. Everyone's going to jump. Now, later on with Danny Ige's fight, they're saying it was too early. Now, obviously, it was different refs, but then you would have thought that it was 2 different nights. These refs don't know what they're doing. They're stopping the fights, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So I did see Coach Nixick in both your corners, and generally speaking, although cleaner, and you guys were better than opponents. Did you guys train at all for these fights?
Me and Dan are main training partners, and I'm about as close as you're going to get to Sean Woodson. Featherweight. I'm 6'1".
Not tall enough.
Yeah. I mean, he's an anomaly. I mean, the guy's built like nobody else at featherweight. So Dan's either got to train with guys that are bigger weight classes, or he used me and he used Andre Fili a little bit as well. But and he's not too far off from Darren Elkins' size too. So it worked out perfectly for both of us.
Yeah, that's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Man, hey, so I gotta when I rolled up on you the other day, now I know what y'all be thinking about me. So Ryan, I saw these guys in the hotel, and I didn't know what they wore at the weigh-in. It was some ridiculous shit, you know what I'm saying? So he's coming I see Julian come down the thing, and he's got on this outfit, this Miami color outfit.
I like that shirt he's got on right now.
I know, well, yeah, for sure. But I said, yo, what the hell I'm thinking to myself, what the hell he got on? But that was the outfit you guys had to wear for the weigh-in?
Yeah. The ceremonial day. And they had these 90s style, the one I had on was like the old Taco Bell colors. Like it was
Yeah,
neon, like teal, and like it was basically this. It was this but white instead of black.
yeah. I was running. I was like, I thought you was trying to make a fashion statement.
No,
What is my man doing?
I usually don't wear anything unless it's free from the UFC. So
Hey,
that's kind of how I roll.
But now back to some more serious business. For me right now, the featherweight division is sizzling. It's my favorite. It's my favorite division in the UFC right now because you guys are just complete savages. This is the division that the UFC has needed for a while. I'm not talking about like the prima donna welterweights always complaining, trying to negotiate. But you guys are sizzling right now. So I want to know from your perspective, what are your goals in terms of, are you chasing the belt? You chasing fun fights? Are you chasing any specific fighter? What is it that you're looking for?
I mean, really, for me, I love fighting. So like, I'll fight anybody, anytime, anywhere, kind of thing. As long as the UFC wants to keep me on the employment, I'm willing to fight anybody. I love the matchups they've been giving me. It seemed like they were giving me prospects for a little while, which I enjoyed doing that because I have the experience over those guys. But then they gave me a guy like Darren Elkins who has more experience than me, and he's a savvy vet in his own right, and so it was nice to get kind of both sides of the coin. But what I'm missing in there is the guys that are contenders, and so I would be willing to maybe try to step up and get like a top 15 fight next. I have 3 first-round finishes, 2 guillotines over C-Rod and Ramos, and then the first-round stoppage against Darren Elkins. And I think I think I've been proven that I can kind of mix it up with some of those guys as well. So I think maybe a top 15 next, maybe not. It doesn't bother me. They're going to pay me the same paycheck anyway. So as long as it's a matchup, that'll be a fun one. I think there's that Melky Costa kid. He fought a couple weeks before.
For sure.
He fought a couple weeks before me. He beat C-Rod. I beat C-Rod. We're both on 3-fight winning streaks. That could be a good matchup. It'd be a fun one for both of us. And I even before the Mitchell and Silva fight, I thought maybe if I got a good fight again, if I did really well against Elkins, that I could possibly get the winner of that because that would be a top 15 fight. So, I mean, whichever way they want to run it with me, I'm totally cool with it. I like getting checks and I like beating people up and getting first round finishes and not taking much damage.
Today I had on the champ Alexander Volkanovski on my Sirius XM show, and what he's doing is just remarkable, man. I gotta say, right? Tell me about it. Like coming off of that run that he had, like that run that like just kind of seemed like a pitfall, like a spiral downward, and then he comes out and beats Diego Lopez, and not like a slouch version of Diego Lopez, but one who was attacking him the whole time. What'd you think of Alexander's performance?
Oh, it's fantastic. I mean, it's vintage Alexander. I think people mistake his like little bit of a decline with maybe him falling off because when you see someone that's as dominant as he was, take a couple of L's the way he did, they can mistake it for him falling off. But I just think it was just him being such a game guy, like a guy that's willing to fight, Islam up a weight class, and do it twice, on short notice. Obviously Ilya put him out, but that doesn't take away from how great he is. And people end up losing fights. I mean, as a fighter, if you're not having losses on your record, the only person who's doing that is Khabib. I mean, or John Jones even. But that's very rare. It's nice to see a guy take losses like he has and still be able to bounce back and return to that vintage Volkanovski. People writing him off, saying he's too old, maybe he's a bit chinny now, but he looks fantastic. And the one thing about him that's above a lot of guys is his intelligence, his ability to be a chess player in the game. People talk crap about him running around, but that's the way he fights and that's how he does it. And he's really he's just very analytical when it comes to fighting and being able to to evade and then counter and manage range so fucking well. So many of us guys, like even me, for instance, I don't necessarily like to dig too deep into game plans because I just enjoy fighting, and I know if I'm in there enjoying myself, it's going to be going my way. But he's a guy who will dive as deep into it as possible on the analytical side and really break fights down and go out there and show us exactly why he's the best.
All right, I got a quick one before we let you go. So 2 of your first round finishes are by guillotine. What is your trick with the guillotine? Everyone has their little niche that they do.
Oh, yeah, you got to tell us, dog.
What is your thing? I'll tell you what mine is. I'll show you yours. You show you mine.
Oh yeah, no worries. So I moved to Vegas about 8 years ago, and this guy Andy Varela over at 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu, very high level grappler, he had guillotined me one time in a 5-minute round. He got me like 5 different times, 2 times with a one-handed guillotine. I was like, whatever this guy's doing, I need to train with him. I need to keep getting choked up because I hadn't been guillotined for like, it felt like 6, 7, 8 years before that. And so, and then I started kind of imitating him. What he does is his guillotine is like the 10-finger guillotine, like when people do the front choke with the 10-finger guillotine, but he just does it as a regular guillotine. And he grabs he basically chin straps and then puts both his hand over on top of the other hand, and then he turns his hand inward, and it really not only does it do the arteries, but it chokes the front of your throat where it's like almost that panic tap, and so he's always been doing it like that, and so that's the way I kind of I imitated him, because a lot of people will go like deep and they're like choking with their forearm, but it's not as tight. And for me, also, I've added in like if I get a figure 4 around you as well, like I did with C-Rod, I did a figure 4 from the bottom guillotine, and it's basically one of those that like you can't tap quick enough. But yeah, it's basically like a 10-finger grip as a regular guillotine, and you just roll your hand inside, and it's ungodly tight.
All right, I'm gonna check it out. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I know Andy Varela. He's a hot grappler out there in Vegas, man. He's always he's on the scene everywhere out there. But that's it's a hell of a choke, man. And you're having a hell of a career. Very entertaining. We love watching you fight. Whenever I see your name on the card, I'm like, hell yeah. In fact, when your fight was announced with Darren Elkins, I was like, I can't wait to see this one. And you delivered. And Darren Elkins is a true warrior himself. So it's a good scalp on your resume. So congratulations on that. But enjoy Vegas, enjoy this victory, and I hope you enjoyed Florida, man. That's where we are right now, me and Ryan. But good to have you on. Good to have you on, and we'll catch up with you soon, my man.
Thank you guys so much. Later, I really appreciate you having me on. You guys take care.
Later.
Peace out, man. Peace.
All right. Another good dude. Yeah. Another good dude.
That was Juicy J, Julian Erosa.
Yeah. What a cool name, too. Mighty Quinn worked for me, but Juicy J is fucking cool, man.
Mighty Quinn.
I remember when I said, what is your nickname? And you're like, that's my name.
Oh, yeah, right. I was like, everybody, what is Dinero? I was like, it's on my birth certificate, fool.
Oh, no, Dinero. Yeah, Dinero. Like, that's my name.
Yeah. He's like, oh, where'd you come up with that? I'm like, it's on my birth certificate.
Yeah. My mom.
Yeah. So yeah,
go ahead. I got a couple questions I was thinking about during the fights, but
so we interviewed Volkanovski yesterday. We played it today on Sirius, and I think everybody should hear. In fact, we played it twice today. It's about 20 minutes, so I can't replay it here, but I'm gonna put some clips up on the site of some of the things that he said. Cool. And Ryan, when I tell you, man, this guy is just, he's built different. You know, we're blessed to be in the Volkanovski era, to watch his process, and for him to be so candid and share it with us. So first off, like, this cat was traveling home from winning the belt and had a layover and was like, you know what, I'm going to do some interviews. Like, who does that? You know what I'm saying? I can't get, it's hard to get dudes to do these interviews, man. And he was like, yo, I'm in a layover. I'm in the hotel room. I'll do some interviews. And he gave me and Alan a fantastic interview, man. So I'm a Volk fan right now.
He seems like such a genuine dude. Like, even when they show his clips when he's watching the fights, like, usually people want to look their very best when the cameras are on. I mean, not that he doesn't look, but he looks like he's at home in gym shorts with no socks and shoes on, just like, oh yeah, like just chilling. He seems just a genuine dude. Man, that was such a great fight. That was such a fun fight to watch, and I had a feeling he was just not done. He's just not done with his career. Like the one fight with Makhachev was short notice, and then he got clipped another one. It's like the math ain't mathing. This dude's fucking good still. You know, he's really not that old, and I liked how he joked about it and everything, but I'm happy that he's got that belt, and I think that he's got another 2 or 3 defenses in him.
So, and that's where I'm torn because I'm such a big fan, but I'm also realistic about the situation. You know, everybody's saying he's back, he's back, he's back. I don't think he went anywhere. I think that this is just a part of his run. And then at the same time, I'm not sure how long this lasts. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
Because at the end of the day, he's still getting older and the group under him is still getting hungrier. So I think this was a great win. And for me, I'm so impressed and I'm so inspired by what he's doing, even the losses. But I don't know how long this lasts. That's what I'm saying. I don't think it's, oh, he fell off, now he's back, so he's got another 3 years left in it. I don't think that at all. I think, like, I wouldn't be surprised if this was it. Like, this is all he has left to give us.
I think he's got 18 months, just under 2 years.
I can live with that.
I think he's got 3 fights, 2 fights, a fight every 6 months. And I mean, let's look at his biggest threats in the division right now. Yair Rodriguez, great, but I think stylistically speaking, I mean, I think Volk should probably plan his fights accordingly going for it. Like he should go, yeah, you know what, I match up well with that guy. I'm feeling good right now, you know. But,
yeah, but who's he match up well against?
I think he matched up well against Yair.
Well, he's already beaten him.
So, okay, who's in line though for like?
All right, so he's got Movsar.
Okay, that's a big threat. Maybe
Right.
That's one he should get. Yeah, actually, I posted that on X. That's the one he should get next. That's the one that he shouldn't wait till the end of this run to get.
Right. So he's already talked about that. And again, he said that on my show today that he wanted to fight twice before the year ends. He wants to fight in July and then again at the end of the year. So he's looking to fight Movsar if he can.
See,
and
that worries
whoever else is available.
It's April and he wants to fight twice for the end of the year. See, that's where I think the age is like, you need to let the bones rest, bud. You know, whatever.
Either that, or it's like, hey, he knows what it is, and he just want to get it done, get it over with.
So, other than Mozart, who we got? Who else we got?
Murphy. Well, Lerone Murphy's, I think, ranked 8
right now. I don't see that. The featherweight division is too thick for that fight to happen in the next.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. I mean, it's Yair, it's Movsar, it's Aljamain, Arnold Allen is up there somewhere, but you know, these are all contenders and all guys that want to fight.
Yeah.
But let me bring in a name who might be the biggest threat to everybody right now in the featherweight division. And that's Gene Silva.
Oh, I'm kind of surprised you said that.
What? Are you kidding me?
Okay. The dude could swat. I feel like when I see the craziness, I worry about his discipline against somebody like I was about to say Aljo, maybe even an Aljo, but like a Mozart or a Volk or even a Yair. Like the dude could pound and he could submit, but I don't know. I
think the submission was opportunistic. I'm not sure about how good it is. We have to be careful with this, right? So, and I'll say it this way because Bryce was so desperate to get in on a shot. He was just so happy and desperate to get in on the shot that he wasn't even concerned about his neck. And if there's anything I know about Brazilians is that ninja chokes are a primary defense takedown defense for Brazilians.
Yep.
They
Mhm.
love going to ninja chokes. I'm sure that was a part of his thing. Go ahead, grab my leg so I can choke you. So, and Bryce was so desperate to just get in on the leg that he left his neck hanging numerous times. So I'm not sure that his ground game is that great. I'm not saying it's bad, but I'm just saying that was an opportunistic submission.
Yeah, no, I got what you're saying. I feel you.
But I just something about him, and these were some of the bigger takeaways for me over the weekend, because that was a pretty big card. Like the atmosphere, the event itself was really big. It was kind of overwhelming for some people, as we saw about Pitbull. Just he froze. He was deer in headlights, but that's big game stuff, right? You know about big games. There's a difference between the World Series and April, right? There's a big difference between April and the World Series, and not a lot of people know how to prepare for that. They don't even know. They just train hard and then think, "Oh, I'm going to be in good shape." But then when they get out there, it's different. Gene Silva handles that better than almost anybody in the UFC right now. He's like, the way he handles that, and I almost think that partially you kind of have to be like, you see people on the spectrum, right, where they're just like oblivious to outside noise and just so stuck on what it is that they want to do. I almost feel like that's what he's doing. That's what he had. Like, he might be a little bit on the spectrum to where he doesn't realize the magnitude of what's going on. He's just like barking and like, this is my life and this is what I'm doing and there's nothing. And I find it to be phenomenal, because I saw a lot of people. I see a lot of people fold under the lights.
Yeah,
he's a guy. I mean, I expected Patty to perform under the lights. We've seen him do it before. Patty's a big game player. Patty can play in the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
Volk can play in the Super Bowl. We've seen him do it before. I didn't know if Gene Silva could do it, and he did it with style and class.
All right, I'm more optimistic about. I don't have him beating Volkanovski in the next few months, like at their October card or whatever. That's all I'm saying. Like, but he's nobody that
11th now, so
nobody wants to see him fight. So I did, after the fights, I put together what I want to see done at the 145-pound division.
Ooh, let me hear.
Yeah. All right. So right at the top, I got Volk versus Mosar. Oh, and there's someone. I mean, he lost, but I have Diego Lopez and Yair Rodriguez, and then I have Gene Silva versus Lerone Murphy, and then but this is just a fun one.
No. These are all legit.
But this one is just fun. I think I would totally pop for like a fight night Apex card. I got Bryce Mitchell versus Pitbull.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's what I want to see. You know what's funny? Rob Font always finds his way in those names, getting matched up with one of those names. We could like see that potentially. Like, someone's gonna get hurt and Rob Font's gonna step in. Like, I was just thinking that too.
Well, that's Rob Font's always been that gatekeeper, and I say gatekeeper with respect in this case. It's not like gatekeeper to be considered a UFC level fighter, but gatekeeper to be elite. Rob Font is kind of has served kind of as the gatekeeper to the elite. But in this situation, Rob Font is a bantamweight and these are featherweights, so he won't have that.
Why in the fuck? He's not the person I was thinking of. But he does do that. Fuck, that wasn't the guy I was thinking about him earlier. Sorry. Now I feel
who? Now I'm curious.
Now I'm forgetting his name. He's always bouncing in and out of the top 20. Striker. Fuck it. But anyway, there's a couple other things I wanted to talk about. And now this is probably I probably get a little more miffed with this because I never fought in the UFC. But they were taking shots at the Bellator fighters. Your crew was taking shots at the Bellator fighters.
What crew was? What crew?
Cormier, Rogan.
On the real though, it was a tough night for Bellator.
It was a tough night, dude. Fucking, you're telling me, man. I was like, I fought on the same car as these guys 20 minutes later. No, I didn't.
Who's this Michael Chandler guy?
Yeah. But you know, I just like, man, it's like, you know, I've lost people who fought in the UFC. I've beaten people in the UFC before and after when they were in the UFC. And then it's like, you know, we train with these people. I'm like, man, I know you got to sell the product, but cut us some slack, man. I'm like, I just, I don't know. Just that's where I feel like MMA is different. And I mean, well, it's getting fewer and farther between now that there's really good fighters outside the UFC that could dominate. It really, outside of Nix and Evelyn, I really can't think of anybody else. I got to go see who ONE FC's got. Kyoji's back. But yeah, like, you know, that's where I was going with that.
I saw the tweet you put out that you said the fight with Chandler and Pimlet, we learned more about Chandler than Pimlet.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What did you learn about Chandler?
He's just there. He's just like, he's at his, you know, we say fighters age overnight. As soon as I heard the coaches say, just do what we trained, I was like, he's just there. He's not going to adjust to what he needs to beat this guy, and he's going to get smoked. And that's exactly what happened. He was running into, he was doing all of Patty's hard work to like set up, like even when they went to the ground, did Patty even get it to the ground, or was it defended shots that Patty scrambled to on top?
He took Patty down one time, and then Patty took him down, and then I can't remember the whole fight, but it was pretty one-sided except for
in the beginning he took Patty down, I thought, and then he did nothing with the takedown though.
Right.
But yeah, and then like, and I forgot who it was, brought up a good point on the announce team where it is so obvious where he does that low squat. And I used to do that too. And he's just setting himself up for leg kicks. And it's just like, adjust, create an angle, like the coaches were saying. And just like, you know what? He's just there. You know, I think that his days are behind him. Is he going to retire? No, I don't. I think that he might have a couple in him, but like just to go out on top type deal. And I think that, you know, Patty, like you said, it was never a question that Patty's going to show up and fight. It was never. This is where I always thought Patty was better than what a lot of people said he was, but I don't think that he's this monster. Like I still think that he's got some shit ahead of him. Like he's got to fight Ilya, things like that. I'm not putting him in the title picture yet.
I agree with you, man. I'm not sure that this win should put him over in terms of. I know it's a good sell because we didn't think Patty was anything, and then he beats up Michael Chandler. But you're right. I thought it taught us more about Michael Chandler, and for me, what it confirmed was that the MMA game is always evolving. It's forever changing, and these guys that spend all their time outside of camp, you know, living their life for sure. You live in your life, you work in business deals, especially when you get a little older. And then, okay, I got to fight. All right, so I got to get back in the gym. And then you start working. You got to pick up where you left off, and you never really get better.
Yeah, you don't grow in that middle.
Yeah, there's no real growth, and sometimes you can't even really quantify your gains. Like they don't quantify their gains. It's just, am I in shape or am I not in shape? If I'm in shape, I'm gonna go fight and try to win. If I'm not, but what we saw was a man who couldn't make adjustments, and that has a lot to do with the fact that he hasn't spent enough time in the gym.
Yep.
Right. It's not me talking shit. It's evident, and you can see it. When you can't make adjustments, and you're looking at coach like, what do I have to do? It's like, you should kind of know what you have to do, because in camp, like outside of camp, when you're in the gym just training with guys, you have to make adjustments, right? Like when you're in the room and you're going with this guy, and you go with this guy, and you go with this guy, and you're playing and you're experiencing different stimuli and training, you got to be able to make adjustments, and you got to be able to let it go. And what we saw is someone who couldn't do that. And that's not a good thing for an elite fighter. But for him, it might be okay, because he realizes he doesn't have a lot left. So he's just trying to get the big wins and ride off into the sunset. So I get it. But let's make no mistake about that. This is a game that you constantly have to be in the gym, constantly learning. So I'm on this new kick now, even for me as a coach in terms of my learning. We talked about this with my man Tim Baghurst, Dr. Tim Baghurst. I'm still trying to learn. Like I'm committed to now watching a new video on BJJ Fanatics every week. So just to keep building in my brain on different things. So
I got my account rocking. I love BJJ Fanatics.
Yeah. Just constantly trying to keep learning and seeing different things and different perspectives and different mindsets. And when you're not doing that, it shows. It's going to show. And I think that's what we saw more than anything with Michael Chandler is that he's a guy that's always going to be in great shape. He's always going to be able to do flips. He's always going to be able to power clean. But when it comes to a fight against a guy who's throwing different and a variety of techniques at him, he's going to struggle. He's going to struggle.
Especially
we saw
against
that.
an awkward guy.
Yeah. We saw that.
So I'm watching a Elliot Marshall video right now. Was never a crazy fan of his when he was fighting, but I love his jiu-jitsu technique, his coaching. I think it's great.
Really? Can I me and Elliot we've been kicking it recently actually. When we were in Mexico, I was asking about his programming because he's got like 8 schools in Colorado and all. So he's got all these schools. And I asked him about his curriculum, and he said in the curriculum, only 3 people in his system are allowed to write the curriculum or something like that. And he said, and they have to be battle tested, proven jiu-jitsu people, and they still follow and study things from BJJ Fanatics. Like still, he's like, they have to be on that. That's just, they have to be current. So
great.
And I mess with after the fight, he actually texted me about Chandler after Chandler's fight because we've been talking about just different things in MMA. But Elliot Marshall, he's actually from Jersey. Cool cat. Doing his thing. He trains Miranda Maverick and Drew Dober, but he runs 8 schools out in Colorado. He's doing his thing though.
Well, his side control video is fucking phenomenal.
Is it really?
Yeah, it's really good. It's really good. I'm like halfway done. I got another question about the fights. Well,
is that for me or can Dan answer that? Because look who it is. Look who it is. 50.
Yo,
hey,
it's
50K.
really bad reception.
No worries, man. Congratulations on the big win.
Yeah, what you at a white party?
Hold on, guys. I'm gonna try to reconnect.
All right,
no doubt.
Well, when you so go ahead reconnect.
Here.
I'll go ahead and pull him out. So ask your question, homie.
Yeah, all right. Might be a little lengthy, but we can just cut it. It's not important. What is it like when Donald Trump enters? I feel it's a little. We get it. He's there. It's like forced, but is it?
No,
it's crazy.
It's crazy. He gets the loudest pop I've ever seen anybody get at the UFC. Yeah, it's insane. It's insane.
It's crazy. I'm just like, I remember that when they first showed him at Madison Square Garden right after he won the election, and everything's on him. And I'm like, I'm hearing John Anik, and obviously Rogan endorsed him, but I'm hearing John Anik like talking him up and stuff. I'm like, man, what if they didn't even vote for him and they got to talk about this guy right now? Like, I can't, like, and everyone's got a glad hand with them. I'm like, man, they're putting their crew in a bad spot if that's the case.
Let me see if yeah, he's still trying to come through. Yeah, it's pretty wild when Donald Trump shows up. Fan or not, he's still the president of the United States. You can't take that from him. Hold on, here he goes now. All right.
I think I got you guys now. It was really choppy.
We hear you.
Can you hear us?
Dang it. Hold on.
All right, 50K. He need to take some of that 50K, get a new Wi-Fi. I was messing with you. I'm messing with my man.
Hey, I heard that, man. They came back now.
Wait till I see your punk ass, D.
You don't like my internet?
I think it's going now. I hope so.
Hey, yo, you got us?
Yeah, I hear you guys now. It's weird. I'm on Wi-Fi.
Where you at?
I'm at my house. I'm sorry, I completely spaced. I had my kids, and then I'm taking my mom to dinner tonight, so we were getting ready.
Man.
Yeah,
Hey,
thank you.
good for you. All right, so
Thanks.
before we kick this off, all right, introducing my man 50K Dan Ige, fresh off a victory, and I got to tell this story because I feel bad. So when I saw you guys in the hotel, on was it fight day, the morning of the fight,
Something like
and yeah, I think it was
Friday or
yeah,
something. Yeah.
and I saw you guys in the hotel. Oh no, are you still all right? I saw you in the
Yeah.
hotel, and then I said, excuse me, guys, and I had to go talk to your coach, Eric.
Yeah.
I got to tell you what I had to talk to him about because
Okay.
I pulled him away and I was totally disrespectful. But I said, yo, how the fuck are y'all going to deal with Sean Woodson's length? I ain't want to say in front of you. I ain't want to say in front of you, but I was like, how the fuck are y'all going to deal with Sean Woodson's length, man? Because I was like, it's such a tricky fight. And especially like with your style, like you're a power puncher in the pocket. And he was like, yo, we're going to attack this motherfucker angles. We're going to hit him in the corner post and we're going to do it. Blah, 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 blah. And he like laid it out for him. And I said, all right, let's see. And then afterwards, and after it was done, he ran up to me and was like, I told you.
The funny thing is, you guys went and talked on the side, and I was trying to go eat. I'm like, screw this, I ain't waiting. And I just booked it. I just started walking. I was like, I'm not waiting for this guy.
Yeah, I'm sorry, man. I was being insensitive, but
Nah,
so
you're
man,
good.
how's it feel, man? That's what a challenge that must have been to fight that guy. How's it feel to get that victory?
Yeah, it was definitely a challenge, man. But we really did our homework and just prepared ourselves well with the sparring, the drilling, the training, and the mental game, man. The mental game was on lock. I never let his length frustrate me. I knew that would be something I'd probably deal with. I'd be like, if I get frustrated, just reset back to my game plan, which was my footwork and my pressure, and getting respect, attacking his body, and like Eric said, cutting off the corners and the pillars. So if I could get him on the cage, I have a much better chance to deal with his range there. But I also know how to fight. I know how to fight long guys too, and I could stay long with him. I could, because I have a subtle pressure, and I believed in my power, and I believed it would have been, was gonna make the difference in that fight, and just not be afraid to step in the fire a little bit. But it worked out good, and I started finding my range kind of later in round one. Round two was finding it, and then round three we got the finish, and I hurt him big, and yeah, man, it feels really good.
Yeah, I thought it was an awesome display from start to finish. Just everything you did, like it's so underappreciated how hard it is to move in against those guys. And he's like extra long. He's like Inspector Gadget.
Dude,
I don't know how old you are. You might not know who Inspector Gadget is.
I do.
Okay, cool. But so what was some of the stuff you did like in training for stuff like that? I'm not even talking just like getting inside. Like, was there specific combinations in the telephone booth or cage wrestling or something? Just try to get this guy to bring him down to my level a little bit, because it is just so hard. I'm like, man, like when I watched that, I try to see what I would do, and I'm like, all right, I would try to feint. I wouldn't do too many level changes. I would definitely double jab. Like, I'm just like trying to see shit like that. And you did a fantastic jab too, punching with him and punching underneath shit. That was fantastic.
So my biggest thing was, okay, what's his biggest threats? Is probably his right knee up the middle, his right teep kick, and his jab. I wasn't too worried about the power, but I knew if he just lifts his knee, it's up there, So everything was staying away from his right knee, even off my hooks, like 1-2 roll into the right side, 1-2-3 roll into my right side, like an inside roll. I kept everything, working, attacking the chest, not too low, not dipping too low. Big overhands, I know puts me right there in the pocket for that knee. So I wasn't really even searching for like a big overhand right, even though it seems like nice and pretty. It would be awesome to hit that dude with the big overhand. But I think he also expected me to like work off his jab and try to time his jab, because he would throw it at he snuck it in there really well. And I really wanted to time his jab and come over with the big right hand like I did with Feely, but I think he was expecting it, and he was also expecting left hooks. But when I switched it up a little bit with my southpaw from the open stance, I don't think he was like, I have a dangerous left hand too. straight left,
Yeah.
overhand, uppercut, any of that. So I know I have power in both hands, and I think that he wasn't prepared there. And I mean, the timing, it was just perfect timing too. The shot I stunned him with. But body work was key. It was hard to get in on side. You know, he's big, he's long. I remember like I was up at I had a tight waist on him in the clinch, and I had my left hand around his waist, and I went to like hit him to the body, and there was no body there, and I hit his kneecap. I was like, I'm just gonna hit his kneecap because that's how tall he was. Um, I thought he felt weak. Like I thought I'd be able to take him down a little easier with like those cutback doubles. Um, because I worked it a lot and it worked 100. I mean, in my mind, it was gonna work 100%. But I hit that cutback and then he caught my arm, but like he felt kind of weak. I was like, I think I could still manhandle him right here. And then we ended up standing back up. But I did work a lot of wrestling and ground and pound and all that too, because that was somewhat part of the game plan. But when I'm in there, I was just having fun, man.
That's what's up. So we just had Julian on a minute ago, and I was telling them you guys were busy. Obviously, you did, and I was at home on my couch, so I got to see the social media buzz and everything. Yeah, and don't kid yourself. I'm an armchair coach. I totally sit there. But so during Julian's fight, everyone on X going crazy. Oh, these refs, they don't know what the hell they're doing. They suck. That was late stoppage. Blah blah blah. And then, not even the same ref, nothing that matters. Then during your fight, they were saying it was an early stoppage. First of all, I thought you were winning the fight, and I think that had something to do with it anyway. What was your did you care? Did you watch? Did you hear anything, any Bush League about that after the fact?
So I'll give you my perspective, my initial reaction, just being in there. Like I knew I had him hurt, and I had a lot of time on the clock and a lot of time to work, so I wasn't
Yep.
rushing the finish. But I had him hurt. I was like, okay, attack his body, just make him feel it. Even like I wasn't like trying to land big right hands. I would like feint the right hand to get him to square up, and then he would, and then I throw a right hand, then I rip his body, and then he had his back against the cage, and the ref was already telling him like, hey, move, defend yourself. So as soon as he said that, I mean, he shot in, which he never does, and he didn't even really shoot. He just fell to his knees and grabbed my leg and was holding on. So I didn't even think really to wrestle or sprawl there. I just started hammer fisting him. And they were like pretty hard shots. I was like trying to hurt him. And they stopped the fight. The crowd went crazy. I just felt the energy, so I went crazy. So in the moment, I felt zero controversy, and they asked me about it at the press conference, and I was like, "What controversy?" So I went back, I watched it. I can understand it, but I do believe the commentary plays a big role in that. People are quick to comment, like they hear DC or Rogan or someone say bad stoppage, so everyone oh, bad stoppage. That was a horrible stoppage. But at the end of the day, I mean, the ref saved that dude's brain. Like I would have just kept hitting him, and I get it, but you live to fight another day, and I get his initial response was like, "Oh, dude, why'd you stop it?" But he wasn't really complaining. Like it was a good
Yeah.
stoppage on in his own point of view. Like he even told Eric, he's like, honestly, I just was holding on. So I don't. There's nothing I can do, but it kind of sucks because it robs from my victory.
No, don't think of it.
What?
Don't think of it that way,
Yeah,
please.
so John Anik came on afterwards on the broadcast and said that you were officially up on the scorecards anyway, and regardless, like you were going to win that fight, regardless, like if they didn't stop it. When I saw the stoppage, and I heard DC and Joe Rogan say, "Oh man, it's the worst stoppage I ever seen." I was like, "Wait, it's not that bad."
Yeah,
I was like, it wasn't that bad of a stoppage. I thought
There was a worse one that night. I forget that
Yeah.
Dumas or I don't.
yeah. That one was.
Oh yeah,
pretty
yeah,
bad.
yeah. That was pretty early. So yeah, like Dumas was just not defending himself he wasn't hurt. He just wasn't getting out of the position.
Yeah.
Sean was hurt. So
Yeah.
yeah, I didn't think it was that bad of a stoppage. I mean, it could have been a little early, but you know what? That's not your job to really be concerned with that. So I wouldn't worry about that too much. But you're kind of in a spot now, man. As I was telling Juicy J, featherweights is hot right now, man. It's the hottest, y'all the hottest division in the UFC right now. Where do you see yourself in this division?
I don't honestly, I'm not even looking at the rankings, the title, like the division's on fire right now. It's exciting, it's fun, and I just want to keep racking up some wins. But I am looking at names like I would love that Pitbull fight. He's not ranked, but just
Didn't he call
for
you
another-
out?
sorta. It was more Captain Eric. He
Oh, yeah, for
kind
sure.
of put it together, and then like he was referring to me, but he didn't say my name, and I wrote on there. And then Pitbull said, "Let's do it, brother. International Fight Week." I'm like, "Cool, let's do it." I sent it to Shelby, and he's like, "It's doable." So I don't know. I think they like me. They tell me who I fight, and I do it. So I'm just looking to stay active, man. I'm healthy. I'm unscathed. I'm gonna take a little time with the family. I'm going to Disney next week, but other than that, I'm just why not keep doing it? Just nothing big in my like. It wasn't a stressful camp to where my whole family needs a break. You stress your whole family out because everything revolves around you. And I had a chill camp. Like I was very present. I was in the moment. I was present with my family. I was present in training. I knew how to shut it off, and just my mental energy is it's healthy right now, and I just want to keep going.
Dan, how old are you?
33.
33. Man, what a still a good age.
Yeah.
Well, the sky's the limit still for you.
Thanks.
Yeah. If you get that Pitbull fight, I'm thinking honestly, I retired at 36. I was like, yo, I'm too old for this bullshit. But and I think there's a kind of a cutoff, but between 33 and 36 is where I feel like you really start to step into the big boy shoes and shine. As long as you keep learning and keep focusing on the craft at hand, and which I know you do.
Yeah.
Right. Like it's a big part of you is to stay in the gym and work on your craft.
Yes. And I think a big part of it is like it's almost hard not to, but I always put a ton of pressure on myself, being the provider, like doing everything right in my power to win. But I've just been practicing that ability to let go of control the outcome because I can't control the outcome. And I look at a lot of the Penn State guys in wrestling, and I'm like, why are these guys so dominant? I'm like, they're just their mindsets get better and have fun.
Yeah.
Give it all to God, and that's it. So I'm practicing that, and I've also created just a small team within a team. Like I train at Extreme Couture, but I just have a small team of elite guys. You could talk to Eric about it. It's just we have a bunch of great minds in there, and that's our goal. It's just drill and get better and work on things. And you could see the guys who are consistent there. They're all winning.
Yeah.
And Julian's one of them. So I think we got a good thing going. We're just gonna keep rolling and keep working and keep getting better.
Well, Dan, before we let you go, someone who's a fan of you and someone who, I used to do a lot of the same things, put a lot of pressure on myself, and just not even just from this conversation and getting to know you a little bit, and just from the way you're doing it, it seems like you're doing it all right. So just keep doing it, whatever you're doing, and keep that mindset, and enjoy the family and dinner with your mom.
Oh yeah, thank you guys. I appreciate you guys.
All right, my man. We'll catch up soon, man. Hope to catch you in Vegas soon.
Oh, most definitely. I'll be here. Hit me up.
All right, man. Peace.
See you guys.
Later.
Wow. 2 guests today. I feel like we hit a milestone. This is a very prestigious.
It was.
Yeah. We had a day today, Ryan.
Yeah.
We had a day today. Anything else before we bounce on this? Anything else from the card grab your attention?
Nah, we talked about all the important stuff. We talked about all the important stuff. I'm good. I saw that I spelled Diego Lopez's name fucking autocorrect on that tweet. It switched it to the Z. So sorry.
Really?
Yeah.
And this is my problem with Twitter and Instagram. you'll do that, right? And then everybody like, yeah, you spelled his name wrong. Blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah. And it's just like, dude, that you got the point, right? Shut the fuck up.
Yeah. Listen, my phone's in all my best friends. My name's in all my best friends' phones with one N my whole life. So if I can deal with it, you can deal with it.
Yeah, man, it's crazy. Look, my name, for example. If I can deal with it, anybody can deal with it. So, well, Ryan, let's keep this thing going. Let's keep it moving. Want to give a shout out to Dan Ige and Julian Erosa for coming on the show today. Appreciate you guys. And if you enjoyed the show, make sure you hit like, share, subscribe, comment, tell your friends, all the good stuff. And on that note, this court is adjourned.